Hello everybody and welcome back to our project channel or something. Today we're going to talk about languages and we're going to cover all the languages that you need to study at this school. So I am kind of guest and Alina is hosting this meeting. So she's going to talk about the most challenging subjects like English A and Spanish. Natasha is going to talk about Russian A literature and I'm going to talk about Armenian self-taught, but I will also talk about self-taught literature as a whole because Armenian is not the only language which is offered by school as a self-taught literature. And then I and Natasha are going to cover like English B, which I am quite sure a lot of you are going to study at school. So let's get started. I think most of you are going to take English A, so we're going to start this language. I'm going to ask Alina about very interesting stuff. How was studying English A challenging for her? Or is it challenging? Because it is not your native language, but still you are going to compete with people whose native language is English. So I think it is quite challenging. So can you please explain our audience what were the main challenges that you have overcome? What is the course about? Are you feeling well in this course? Because I also know that you are writing extended essay or English literature, so go ahead.
Sure. I guess extended essay is another topic which should be covered in another video, because otherwise this video will be like for 2 hours and you will be so tired watching it. So let's just talk about English language and literature. I guess that's the only course in the A group in English which is offered in U school. Obviously it is challenging, especially if you have a disadvantage of having English as your second or third language, because you do compete with people for whom it's their first language. But at the same time, English is an international language. That's why at your class there will probably be only like a couple of people who've been speaking English since their childhood and who actually communicate in this language with their families. So that's why you shouldn't be worried if you're considering taking English A if it's not your first language. Obviously, it's gonna be challenging as any other subject in IB, I guess, but you can certainly do it and you will be offered enough of support if you need that. And yes, it's absolutely possible to do well in class. Speaking about the assignments, there are 4 assignments if you're taking it on high level and 3 assignments if you're taking it as a standard level class. And let's talk about each of them. So first of all, let's talk about paper 1. This exam is about 2 texts that you didn't see previously, and you do have to pick one of them if you're taking this class on a standard level, or you have to analyze both if you are a high level. This way you do not have any choice, and you do have to offer your opinion and at the same time to justify something that has been written there. Speaking about paper 2, there are 6 books you're reading if you are high level and 4 books that you're reading if you are SL. And you have to pick 2 of them, and you will be given 4 questions. You will have to choose one of them and to compare these 2 books and to write an essay about it, justifying your point of view and answering the question you've been given. If you are HL, there is also a high-level essay you do have to complete about one of the books you've been reading. And basically, it's an essay which should be from 12 to 1500 words, I guess. And you usually do it in your second year, so you do not have to worry that much about it. What I can say is that you do write it at home and you will have enough time and support. You do come up with your own question, which you will have to answer. And yes, then you're just submitting it to IB. And the last assignment is the individual oral. There you will have to speak for 10 minutes, and then you will be given extra 5 minutes for the questions from your teacher to make sure that you didn't just memorize your oral, but you do understand the books you're talking about and everything. And there you'll have to talk about one of the books you've been reading, and at the same time, as long as it's language and literature, you also studying the equal amount of bodies of non-literary work, and this way you will have to talk about one of them as well in your oral. And afterward, you will have to answer some questions of your teacher. And basically, yes, these are the assignment you are graded upon. So I guess I'm giving my floor to Mana to talk about self-taught, Armenian, and any other language that you might be taking if you're native in it. And yeah, she will explore this topic more holistically because she knows much more than I do.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Armenian. It is my native language, and I think I'm quite sure that all of you guys who are coming from Armenia is your native language. So I will say for sure that it is very easy subject. It is the most easiest. It is the easiest subject in the IB curriculum because comparing to the literature that is studied at school, it is kind of nothing. Seriously, you just need to find some time in order to read the books and then analyze. You don't have self-taught literature is on the standard level. It means that we don't have further writing assessment, which is going to be checked by the IB. We are also having some stuff like that, but it is checked by the teacher. And it is kind of for you to prepare for the exam. About the course, we have teacher, and she is quite good person. We are studying in the small groups, like 2 or 3 people, I think so. We also have paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 is just, there is nothing serious in it. You just have 2 texts and you're choosing one and you're writing like 700 words about it, but still 700 words in Armenian. And I think I don't know about any other languages, but in Armenian is a lot. So please work on your essay writing skills, because if you know how to write essays, like Armenian is going to be very easy subject for you. I know that a lot of people are talking about and thinking about taking self-taught literature. I know that school provides as a self-taught, so our classmate is taking it, and it is self-taught. So you're supposed to work a lot. You're supposed to read books by yourself. And actually, if Alina or Natasha are studying self-taught literature 4 hours per week, we are studying only 2 hours per week. And another 2 hours, we have time to have a rest, or we have time to study by ourselves. About Armenian, this 2 time is just proper time for you to study another subject. So don't worry about it. It is great advantage for you that you have these 2 hours, like personally for me. About Belarusian and Ukrainian self-taught, I am not sure. Please check it with Miss Katy, because it will be quite inconvenient if you come in September and find out that you don't have a teacher, and then you should choose English A because you don't have an A subject or something. So please now text Katy and talk to her whether you can choose self-taught Belarusian or self-taught Ukrainian. But even if you don't have teacher, I don't know if it's possible or not. It is really very easy because it's your native language and you're writing it in your native language. But paper 2, we also have some kind of stuff. Is it about our books is quite boring, but it only depends on you, because if you are choosing your books with your teacher, and actually you can choose books which are good for you. I don't know. It depends. You will understand it in September. But one advice from me, it is picking the books that they are available to read, because like personal, we have books that are not available to read. So please text if you're interested in taking Armenian, you can definitely do it because it is not as difficult. About grade boundaries, I know that in Armenian it is quite high. You need to get 90% plus in order to get 7, but I don't think it is very difficult, because there are 4 criteria in both paper 1 and paper 2. It is language, but I mean, if you are coming from Armenian school, I don't think that it is going to be very difficult for you. The second one is communication, how you express your ideas. The third one, I think, it is context or evaluation or analysis. So how are you analyzing the text? Yes, if you have any further questions, you can contact me, but self-taught is very easy, so it is SL, just SL. And about individual oral, we don't have questions from teacher, we're just talking about the book that we have chosen, that we have read for 10 minutes. Now I'm asking Natasha to talk about Russian A, which is quite interesting subject, and I know that a lot of people who are coming to our school, they have Russian as their native language, so I think it is going to be very interesting for them. Go ahead.
Yes, so if your native language is Russian and you are very sure that you will get 7 in it, you can take it because it's really a good chance to get a high grade in at least one of your subjects, like doing nothing for it. But if you want to explore new fields, you can take English A, for example. At the beginning of the year, we had 6 students in our class, and not all of them were from Russian-speaking countries. I mean, their native language was not Russian. Some of them were from Ukraine and Belarus, so they were talking Ukrainian or Belarusian. But they knew Russian well. That's why they chose this language. If you think that you can write good essays, because in Russian A you will have to write really long essays, at least 600 words, and on the exam it's for HL at least 800 words, from 800 to 1,200 words. So it's pretty much. If you don't think you can write such long essays, you can better choose other languages. We also have individual oral at the end of the year, as well as English A does and Armenian does. So there is no difference here. What else I can say about Russian? Yeah, as Mana said at the beginning, we cover grammar as well as literature. So we read Russian books, we read books translated to Russian, and it's also very interesting because in our schools we've read only pure Russian books, and
And actually, guys, both Armenian, English, and Russian, we have native books and books which is translated into that language. And personally, for us, if you are self-taught, please check whether these books are available in your language. So, is it translated in your language or not? Maybe it is not. So please check it, because it is self-taught. It is your responsibility to check, because maybe teacher is thinking that self-taught is your responsibility. So don't forget to do it in September. But it is still 3 months long, so don't worry about it. Now we are coming to English B, languages B, which is not your native language. And as you know, IB gives you wonderful opportunity to explore new language, which is Italian or Spanish. Actually, our teachers, we'll talk about teachers later, but I think our teachers are pretty good because Italian teachers from Italy and Spanish teachers from Spain. As a girl who is fond of Spanish music, I am asking Alina to continue my speech about Spanish, the initio, and answer questions like, is it hard to study Spanish? Because come on, in DP2 you need to have P2 Spanish. It is wonderful and amazing, but it is difficult. How are you going to talk in Spanish after 1 year, Alina? Because I don't imagine myself talking in Spanish after 2 years, but I'm not talking Spanish.
So guys, if you're interested in Spanish or Italian, the school does have very great teachers who will help you out on this journey, even if you're an absolutely beginner, even if you do not know anything. You can still pick either Spanish or Italian from the very beginning, and by the end of these 2 years of IB, you will reach a level which will at least be equivalent to B1 on the European scale, I guess. So basically, this course is built on communication in smaller groups. Also, you will be reading a lot of texts, and the assignments are based on individual oral as well. You'll be speaking in a dialogue with your teacher for 10 minutes, and you are graded on that. Besides that, on the exam, there is paper 1 and paper 2. So you will have to write 2 essays, which are 150 words, I guess, each of them, on the questions given to you. At the same time, in another paper, you will have to read a couple of texts and then to answer the questions after them. And also you will have to do listening. And these are the criteria the assignment is based on. Obviously, you do have to have proficient skills in those languages in order to succeed during the examinations, but at the same time, they are based on your communication skills, I guess, and on your comprehension skills. So you will do experience culture a lot, as both teachers of Italian and Spanish, they do come from Italy and from Spain. That's why it's an amazing experience to get immersed into the new country and get to know some new people. And at the same time, what I can say about Spanish that you will be having a lot of fun during the classes, but at the same time, you will have to work really hard because basically you're starting knowing absolutely nothing. And at the end of the program, you'll be able to communicate almost fluently and being able to express whatever you need in a new language. And yes, at the same time, I guess in IB, the cultural part of this experience is also very important. So if you're interested in Spanish dances, songs, or like whatever, you will have enough opportunities to explore this sphere as well. So I guess that's all for me, and I'm passing my floor to Natasha and Mane, who will talk about English B and the experience.
Before coming to English B, I also would like to say if you're taking English A and you don't know any other language except English, Russian, and I don't know, Georgian, Armenian, or something, still you need to choose Italian and Spanish. And so it is a great opportunity to learn another language. So take your time. So Natasha is going to talk about English B, I think so, because she really enjoyed the subject. And before her talking about English B, I will say that our school offers also French B and German B. If you are really interested in these two languages, I mean, if you know this language already, because you need to have minimum B2 in order to take this course, because it is hard, come on, but it is interesting. About German, please take it, because you will know that German is language which open doors for you with high-level math. So please speak high-level math if you have German. Don't make mistakes. About French, it opens the door for French music. And if you are coming from any country, you will probably know Charles Aznavour. So if you wanted to dance and sing in French, and you know B2 French, please take French. Actually, our German teacher is from Germany and our French teacher is from Georgia, but still people talk that French teacher and German teacher, like French teacher is really good. About German teacher, I don't know, but maybe she is also good. So yes, now Natasha is going to talk about English B.
Yes, thank you, Mane. So basically, English B is based on our knowledge for reading, listening, and writing essays, because all of our assignments consist of 3 parts, one of which is listening, another part is reading, and at the end you will have to write an essay or a blog or a diary or something else. Yes, we are learning to write different types of essays, and it's really interesting because I didn't know previously that there is a special structure for each of them. And yes, it may be used in real life as well, because for example, you can start writing your own blog or I don't know, something else, and it's really useful. We're studying 2 books during this year, so it's part of the literature part of the language. This year, our teachers decided that we will study To Kill a Mockingbird and The Catcher in the Rye. These are 2 books written in English, and I can't say that I liked them a lot, but I think they were useful for my language. It was a new experience to read something in English. And at the end of the year, we are going to talk about these books in our individual orals. And yes, the first part of the oral will be just purely talking about the book. Then we're going to discuss it with the teacher by answering the questions, and basically that's it. So it's not so, you don't have to worry about that so much. It's not so difficult as it seems to be. But yes, English B can help you to develop your basically that's it about English. Yeah, we are studying grammar as well as reading books, and it's very good if you are not from English speaking countries. If English is not your native language, then developing your grammar as well as reading some books is a very good way of studying a new language.
Guys, now I'm going to talk, say some tips that nobody is going to tell you. Like, first, if you are taking English B, the whole class or the half of the class is going to be Georgians. So, know about it. Second,
But it's not a problem.
it's not a problem. I'm just asking, talking about the people. Second, if you still want to learn some new language, but you know, you also want to learn your own language, like you want to take an A or English A or no, not English A, Georgian A, Russian A, Armenian self-taught, still you can choose 2 subjects from group 2 if you don't have visual art, so it is still an opportunity. Yes, and third tip is like about English B, you are still going to have a lot of homework, but I think the examination is going to be much more easier than for English. But still, it doesn't mean that you don't have to do anything. You have to do a lot of stuff. And we have 2 teachers, Zvezda and Musim. Both of them are coming from Iran. So you're going to have someone who is coming from Iran during their entire life. So I hope everybody enjoyed this lesson. Special thanks to everybody who come and text us, email us, join us in our WhatsApp group because we're waiting for you very patiently. And you know, it is super free without any charge.
To sum it up, regardless of the language you're gonna take, I guess it's not gonna be a piece of cake because it's IB, so you will still have to work really hard. But we truly believe that it's absolutely possible to do well in any of the subjects you would like to tell. That's why comment down below and go to our WhatsApp group if you still do have any questions. And thanks so much for watching this video up till the very end. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.